Hi and welcome, my name is Sab Johal and today is my 100th video in just under 6 months of being on YouTube. Welcome and thanks for watching. Today I'm talking about why I'm ignoring the algorithm, or at least why I think if you're a small channel like me, you need to ignore the algorithm too, or at least set yourself up to set and forget. Deal with the YouTube search algorithm and ignore the rest. Ignore the algorithm, I hear you cry. What are you like? Who are you even? And what are you doing here? Okay, let me break this down into what I've heard from three, frankly, what I call masters, who I've come across in my journey on YouTube, and just three key takeaways from listening to their advice that have helped shape me and my approach to growing my channel, and why I think you need to pay attention to what they say too. Oh, and by the way, I'd love to have you join me for the rest of my journey and my 101st video, so consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and maybe a like for this video too. Cheers. Okay, number one, don't focus on the algorithm because it will drive you crazy. You can drive yourself mad if you focus just on the numbers and the way that YouTube tries to balance all the competing videos through the algorithm, somehow leveling the playing field through all the parameters it uses to figure out if a video is useful or popular or being watched. All this artificial intelligence deployed in the algorithm is about trying to make sure that the larger channels with huge subscriber bases don't completely swamp out the smaller channels like me and possibly you from getting a foot in the door and being able to get our videos in front of people too. YouTube is always trying to feed better suggestions to the people watching videos, and it uses all kinds of metrics to figure out how engaged viewers are with the content. Now that's made up of all different things, but right now people are focusing on watch time and click through for your thumbnails. Titles and descriptions are really important, but tags not so much these days. So titles, descriptions, a great thumbnail, and of course underpinned by engaging content to get a better click-through rate through to actually watching your video. And the better your video is and how well your active subscriber base reacts to the new video releases, as well as a whole heap of other stuff, means it's more likely to be presented to other viewers that have something in common with your active subscribers. This means that your impressions go up, your thumbnail gets put in front of more people, and then they might click through depending on whether they like your thumbnail, your title, and your descriptions, and if it's appealing enough to them, and so on it goes. The thing is, you can tie yourself up in knots if you think about this stuff too much, always trying to stay one step ahead and focusing on the wrong things, like how do I manipulate the algorithm so it makes my content a suggested video? Because you think that's the way you're going to go viral. That's the way you're going to grow. Now here's where Rob Lee's teachings come in. What I learned from Rob is that the algorithm will change. It's inevitable. It has before and it will change again. YouTube is constantly changing the way it tries to serve up an engaging experience for its viewers because it wants to keep them watching for longer, right? So as it finds different ways to measure how it's doing and trying to get the right mix of content served up for the viewers that keeps them happy, how do you want to spend your time? Do you constantly want to be checking out how you can best tailor your content for the latest changes in the YouTube algorithm? Because that will suck up a lot of your time and drive you to distraction from the content that you're trying to create. It's also not much fun, even if you're a numbers-driven kind of person. And Nico from MorningFame has something to say about that. Now, he thinks that suggested videos are a kind of holy grail that people are seeking the whole time. But what about for small channels like me and possibly you? He says the argument for the myth that the YouTube search algorithm is not important compared to suggested videos makes sense because it's based on the statement that the suggested videos algorithm drives 70% of the views from large channels. So the thinking is that if we're small creators now, later when our channels are big, we will get most of our views from suggested videos anyway. So why bother with the YouTube search algorithm? Well, he looked at the data to see whether the 70% figure for traffic driven through suggested videos algorithm is true for big channels, but also what does that look like for small channels? He found that yes, 70% for the bigger channels seems about right for suggested and home algorithms, but that's for really big channels of about 100,000 people. Now, when he studied 3,000 channels, he found that for channels around about 150, 700, 1,500, 4,000, and even 13,000 subscribers, YouTube search still drives the majority of their views that don't come from external sources. But they start to take a smaller piece of the pie as YouTube suggested videos and the home screen algorithm start to drive a greater proportion of views as your channel size increases. So he found that still, for small channels, YouTube search is the thing that you need to be thinking about, not suggested videos, although you'll get a little bit from there. So what have I learned from this? I've learned that I need to niche down. I'm interested in lots of different things, and so are my viewers, so are my subscribers. But I've learned that I need to funnel down and zero in on just one topic and build an audience there before I can branch out into other things and grow my audience as my channel grows, and then broaden my audience too. I, like many others, started off too broad. So I've learned that. And in terms of the algorithm, I've gone to the process where I forget about the algorithm. I set my parameters according to title, description, thumbnails, and tags according to the YouTube search algorithm. But I ignore any moment-to-moment fluctuations, and I use TubeBuddy and MorningFame to help me rank as high as I can for title and description, as high as my channel authority allows me to do. And then I create the content in line with that setting, not the other way around. And then I get on with it. And instead of trying to drive myself crazy, trying to think about the YouTube algorithm and trying to beat it or change it, I focus my attention on creating the content that best fits my audience. So I'll leave with my final recommendation. That's the third one. The first one, again, Rob Lee. The second one, Nico from MorningFame. But the third one, and of course you'll know him, Brian G. Johnson. He, more than anyone, has led me to the fact that I need to knuckle down on my core mission, my core niche, and keep putting out videos, keep learning as I make them, and make sure I'm having fun along the way. And sure, there's a whole load of specialist knowledge that I've got from Brian too, but that's the main take home. So here's my third secret in a nutshell. Stay focused, keep creating, keep learning. If I find myself not doing any of those, then I look at myself and start to think, what am I doing here? And I get on with doing the thing that I'm meant to be doing. That's it. You've watched my 100th video in under 6 months on YouTube. It's been a ride. And I'll keep going. And I hope you've got something from this video too today. And I hope you'll consider subscribing and come along the ride with me too. Hey, thanks for watching. Cheers and go well.